Prayers. So all my Hindus out in Bangladesh. Mob kills Hindu worker in Bangladesh over false blasphemy rumor. This was updated less than 2 hours ago. Last week in Mymensingh district, a 25-year-old garment worker, Dipu Chandra Das, was beaten to death by a mob after unproven rumors of derogatory Facebook posts about Islam. And even if it was like, oh my God, factory managers had resigned and escorted him out amid pressure from agitated workers. But the crowd tied his body to a tree on the highway and set it ablaze. Investigations by Bangladesh Rapid Action Battalion found no evidence of offensive remarks, with witnesses denying they heard anything. 10 suspects have been arrested as the interim government condemns the violence and India calls for justice amid minority safety concerns. See, this is my issue, is they claim people hate us, people are so against us, and then they point to a person, wind up never actually doing it, and they tie him to a tree and burn him alive. What the freak? And again, today burned alive a 7-year-old girl of some politician and 2 assistants locked in the house. Dude, oh my gosh. Indian asked Bangladesh that the perpetrators of the barbaric killing of Dipu Chandra Das, a Hindu man lynched in Mymensingh, to be brought to justice. Oh, he should be way more brought to justice. I mean, this is absolutely terrible. This is absolutely terrible. Hindus are being lynched in the street by radical Islamist mobs, and let's be clear, it's not just Bangladeshi radical Islamists. Leaders like Rahul Gandhi and Arvind Kejriwal, who oppose citizenship for refuge for prosecuted Bangladesh Hindus, are responsible. I don't get the hate on Hindus. I don't. It's like Hindus and Sikhs are like really peaceful religions and kind of keep to themselves, right? I don't understand the idea of all of these the certain religious group coming in and being so goddamn aggressive. Is it too early to crack one open? Not after reading some of this, like it's insane. Like it breaks my heart. I can't upload this to YouTube, but I can do this one. A night of terror unfolds in Dhaka. I know I've said this before, but this is kind of proving my point. Right now, India feels like really early America. India as a country is like, what, 75, 77 years old? It's like less than 100 years old. And they're having a lot of civil unrest, a lot of like political, going back and forth, back and forth. It feels very similar to early America. It's very different, but similar in the sense. I've been on YouTube Andy Watcher since my Mencute. First time on your stream. Yo, what's up, Sasanko? I appreciate you coming over here. Unfortunately, he came in at really a dark time. My thoughts and prayers go out to, obviously, to the man, but to the family and the friends that he's associated with.
It was a night of terror in Bangladesh. Media offices were burnt, national symbols were attacked, public property destroyed, and Indian missions besieged. A night that ripped apart Muhammad Yunus's facade of a new...
This is going to cause a civil war. This is going to cause an actual conflict over in India. It really is. I don't know if Bangladesh is going to become its own thing like Ukraine to Russia. But this is crazy, and it's only been this slow uptick. Just a few months ago, when we were talking in like Punjab about Islamic terrorists coming in there and killing people in a park, it wasn't Punjab, but
Bangladesh.
Like, that was just a few months
This
ago.
is not a country in recovery. This is a country in chaos. First, let me tell you what happened. Last night, news of a student leader's death trickled in. His name was Osman Hadi. He was shot by masked men in Dhaka last Friday. Hadi
And the people, this is, you know, a not pro India guy, we'll say that, right? Like, not pro Hindi guy at all. And a lot of people think that the Indian government or Hindus went after him, so now they're retaliating.
He had been airlifted to Singapore for treatment, but yesterday he succumbed to his injuries.
Really, my blood is boiling. No Bollywood stars came and spoke. When it happens in Gaza or something, people will be like, "Oh, where is the humanity?" and eyes all. But if it was the PM, I would try something. I don't really care about Bollywood stars coming out. Like, don't Bollywood stars, Hollywood stars, celebrities, even athletes like Virat Kohli, MS Dhoni, incredible human beings, but they don't need to come out and speak on this stuff. Let them stay in their lane, right? This honestly needs to be from our represented people, from the PMs, from the Departments of Justice. If you notice, all South Asian countries have been destabilized in the last 5 years, except for India. We're in dark times. I would argue that India is in a really good position of growth. Really young population, growing GDP, having the benefit of being, you know, plugged directly into the matrix. I think India, with those things paired together, can skyrocket and become a legitimate superpower and look like China in the next 50 years. But with this bullshit going on, that ain't gonna happen.
Now, as the news broke, so did the violence. Hadi represented
It's not a new time.
a
It happened in
radical
Bangladesh
section
and
of
Pakistan, killing
He was
Hindus.
known for his anti-India rhetoric. At
1 week ago, a 4-year-old Hindu girl got kidnapped and still no clue what happened.
one point, he also propagated the idea of Greater Bangladesh. Basically, Bangladesh plus India's northeast. That's what he proposed. So his supporters began blaming India for the attack. They said the gunman had taken refuge across the border in India. After shooting him, they went to India. That's what they suggested. No proof, no official confirmation, just a wild allegation. But it was enough to set off violent marches in Dhaka.
Yeah, I bet.
Until yesterday, the police had some sort of control over the situation, but at night, all hell broke loose. Mobs were prowling on the streets. Their main targets were media houses in Dhaka. 2 of them were completely ransacked and torched. The offices of Pratham Alo and Daily Star.
So this is just the offices. What is this? Is this like a government building? One thing that I really appreciated with the Nepal protest is they literally went after only the government buildings. No small mom and pop shops, no Nike stores, no Starbucks. They weren't breaking windows or raiding places like that. They were going after the government buildings. I thought that was very strategic, to say the least.
Those are not just buildings.
Dude, it's turning into like a PvP zone. This is insane. We're literally gonna have to have areas in this world where it's like, hey, this is PvE only. This is only player versus environment. Players got to work together here, and then there's gonna be PvP zones, and it's just Grand Theft Auto. Good luck.
Buildings on fire. Those are the foundations of Bangladesh smoldering. And the mob did not stop there. They went on a rampage across the city. Their second target was Dhan Mondi 32. That's the residence of Sheikh Mujibur Rahman. He is the founder of Bangladesh, also the father of ousted Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina. His house was torched once again by the mob.
Damn. They really got his house? They really got his house?
This mob is not just violent, it is revisionist. It is rewriting the core tenets of Bangladesh. Just consider what they're doing at Dhaka University. The university's main hall was called the Sheikh Mujib Hall. Overnight, radical student groups renamed it, and now they're calling it the Shahid Osman Hadi Hall. Even Bengali culture is being targeted, the biggest example being Dhaka's Chaya Knot.
They're what?
This is a building dedicated to Bangladesh's culture and art. It's not some Indian diplomatic mission. It's not Sheikh Hasina's former residence. It is a symbol of music and art. But this rabid mob did not even spare that.
It always seems to come back down to two religious groups that are causing a lot of conflict in the world, and it's getting a little awkward because everybody else wants peace. We want to innovate. We'd like to, maybe do a little bit of culture like exchange. Like, oh, I like tikka masala. That tastes pretty good. Try this Philly cheesesteak. Actually, hold on. Don't try this Philly cheesesteak for your culture. That would be very offensive. Try this chicken Philly cheesesteak. Oh, but for real though, Cam over here, Papa Willie said something important. Gonna be wild to see the future actions to take and calm all of this down. I don't know what it's gonna take. I don't know how you calm all of this down. And the reason why I'm so interested in this, and I'm glad at least I'm following this because we have plenty of people following American news. All of this is happening in tandem. It's not like one is happening in a vacuum over here that doesn't affect the stuff over here. All of this is this weird, fluid, changing, interacting, kind of encroaching, just energies going all at the same time. When something in America happens, it affects the rest of the world. And honestly, when big shit like this happens to the rest of the world, it seems like it low-key affects America. Rumors suggest CIA has its hands on it. At this point in time, I wouldn't be surprised. There's going to be...
At least one lynching has been confirmed. A Hindu man was killed. His body was tied to a tree and set on fire.
Shit.
Imagine the level of hate and radicalism that leads to this kind of action. Some Indian diplomatic missions were also targeted. A violent march was organized in the city of Rajshahi. It is located in Bangladesh's west, close to the border with India. These so-called protesters tried to attack the Indian diplomatic mission there. Thankfully, the police blocked them.
That's what you guys are saying over here. I'm not gonna lie. I don't care where you're from. Sitting in the streets and singing songs and blocking people from going to work, that is not how you get people to get on your cause.
Of yesterday and today make...
You mean the police can only do so much? No, I completely agree. At what point in time do you actually have to step in and the military has to create some type of law and order for the people to actually make it safe for the people who want to be in that country, who are law-abiding citizens, who are trying to, be a benefit for society? Once it becomes like civil unrest, what else is there to do other than bring in the militia? And you just hope that future leadership will be strong enough to be able to take the militia out and put, get things back to a sense of normalcy,
Make one thing clear. Nobody is safe in Bangladesh. Because this mob is not just targeting India or Sheikh Hasina, it is targeting Bangladeshi symbols. It is targeting their own culture and national heroes. And what is Mohammed Yunus doing about it? He's either too weak to respond or he's enjoying the chaos unfold. Yesterday night, Yunus addressed the nation. He once again blamed Sheikh Hasina and her supporters.
I want to state clearly that Usman Hadi was an enemy of the defeated forces of fascist terror. Any attempt to silence his voice to intimidate revolutionaries will be decisively resisted. The country's march toward democracy cannot be halted through fear, terror, or bloodshed.
Hasina is living in exile in Delhi. Her party has been banned in Bangladesh. Her supporters have been jailed or lynched. Yet who is Yunus blaming for this chaos? Those same pro-Hasina forces. Who is he trying to fool here? Is Mohammed Yunus saying that Sheikh Hasina's men are burning her own father's residence? or attacking the missions of India, which is a country that is hosting her? It makes absolutely no sense. The truth is, these are radical Islamist mobs. These are forces that Yunus himself unleashed. And now he's distancing himself from them. Because look at the interim government statement. I'm quoting, "The government urges all citizens of Bangladesh to resist all forms of mob violence committed by a few fringe elements. We strongly and unequivocally condemn all acts of violence, intimidation, arson, and destruction of properties. We cannot and must not allow it to be derailed by those few who thrive on chaos and reject peace." Such a statesman-like remark. But here's the truth. Muhammad Yunus himself lifted the ban on Jamaat-e-Islami. He was the one who freed these jailed radicals. And this is the outcome.
This is like to me, this is very similar to like the leftist ideology in America about letting immigrants in. They're not going to cause any of the crime. Just because they don't want to assimilate to your culture doesn't mean that they're going to be against your culture. Like there's a lot of, maybe I'm doing a really poor job of, and like kind of painting that with a big stroke. But if you allow for all of these things where it's like this religion is very combative, these people are very combative against your way of life, they go against the grain, it's not a surprise to me when conflict inevitably ensues. You know that they killed him when they framed him, that they abused Muhammad, and that was all a lie. They killed him for nothing, and the only thing he was a Hindu. I need a little bit more context on this. You know, this idiot PM said that we have arrested 7 men who killed the Hindu man, and he was just jailed with them. What a lie. You know, it all started because of Turkey, because they were the people who introduced the greater Bangladesh map. So you're telling me the Turks have something to do with this? I want to see, like, I want to, just like with here in America, with a lot of the stuff that's going on that feels like it's behind the scenes, where like people are pulling strings to cause chaos to break out in a certain kind of way. It's gonna take a little time for us to figure out who's pulling the strings. I want to know who's pulling the strings over here, because I would not be surprised if it's some 3-letter organization.
These forces do not care about democracy or peace. They care about power.
I wouldn't be surprised.
The question is, what will they do next? We cannot rule out more violence, especially attacks on Indian missions and media houses. Those appear to be the soft targets right now. Plus, you have elections coming up. Bangladesh will head to polls in early February. Chances are the Islamists will try to hijack those elections, basically spread an atmosphere of fear and intimidation. That's where the role of the security forces will be key. Will Muhammad Yunus deploy them to crack down, or will he watch the country burn?
Probably the latter.
Either way, we haven't seen the end of the story yet. If you thought July 2024 was bad, the next chapter,
of course, it's happening before election time. Yeah, something's maybe at a different place, different location, but it's still the same shit.
I was born into privilege, but I sold myself.
This is like a teaser for the next episode. First book is enough for destroying human civilization. Burning your own public property causing country losses. Why everyone in silence for Hindus in Bangladesh, not in India, but all over the world? Where is the Palestine first flag bearer? Justice for Dapu Chandra Das. Yeah, this is eventually this is going to lead to something very serious. If this isn't already very serious, this is actually already very serious. Anything that escalates past this may be a point of no return. It may be a point of no return. Now I don't know how I feel about that.